Welcome in Dark Core. Earth has not one but 7 moons. At least 7. There might be more. And this knowledge changes the whole picture of the world, doesn't it? Does it mean we're going to colonize not 1 but 7 space bodies and have 7 lunar bases? Well, we have a choice on which natural satellite to spend our space vacation in the future. Well, here's the thing. These extra moons are kind of different. They are called mini-moons. Now, there's no official definition for a mini-mode because, of course, scientists can't agree on anything, but the general idea is that a space rock that gets temporarily stuck in Earth's gravity does at least 1 full loop around us, and at some point swings in pretty close, like within 4 moon distances close. Basically, if it gets close enough to freak out astronomers, it counts. Our Earth gets these tiny moons from time to time. They swing by, hang out for a bit, and then head out to orbit the sun. Every now and then, chunks of space debris get caught by Earth's gravity and starts orbiting us for a while, just like they're crashing on our couch before hitting the road again. Sort of cosmic speed dating. Scientists thought that most of these mini-moons came from the asteroid belt, a giant pile of space rubble between Mars and Jupiter. But some recent discoveries are kind of throwing a wrench in that. Turns out that some of these tiny moons might actually be pieces of our own moon. One famous example. Back in 2016, a telescope in Hawaii spotted a weird little object hanging out near Earth. They named it Cameo OA, which to me sounds like a cool vacation spot, but it's really a 328 feet wide space rock that orbits the sun in sync with us. Later studies showed it probably broke off the moon between 1 and 10 million years ago. I wasn't around then when something massive slammed into it and made the Giordano Bruno crater. And just recently, another object popped up. 2024 PT5. And guess what? It also looks a lot more like a piece of the moon than your typical asteroid. Naturally, researchers couldn't resist running the map. One of them, Robert Jedi, also known as a guy who's basically the mini-moon expert, and his team did several simulations to figure out how often moon chunks might end up orbiting Earth. Turns out a lot of that debris can actually get caught by Earth's gravity, at least for a little while. And about 20% of it could become legit minimones. Now, the best guess is around 6 or 7 little Lunaron space pebbles might be orbiting Earth right now. Not forever, though. These guys have commitment issues. The average minimoon sticks around for about 9 months before peacing out. And because new debris is always drifting into Earth's neighborhood, the squad keeps refreshing. But here's the thing. These numbers are super shaky. Jedi literally said, the uncertainty is ginormous. And I'm doing air quotes, which is the most sciencey way of saying we're guessing here. There are just too many unknowns, like how big the moon explosions are, how fast the pieces fly, and whether our telescopes are even good enough to see the tiny stuff. So yeah, the prediction might be totally wrong, but that's science for you. You make a guess, someone proves you wrong later, and we all get smarter in the end. In any case, little mini-moons are super annoying to spy. They're usually the size of a car or an SUV, somewhere between 3 and 7 feet wide. It might sound big when you're parallel parking, but in space terms, that's basically a breadcrumb. But an even bigger problem is that they are tiny and fast for us to see them. They have to swing pretty close to Earth so they reflect enough light. But when they're that close, they are also zipping across the sky like they are late for something, which makes them really tricky to catch, even with fancy telescopes. That's one of the things that makes scientists worry about mini-moons. What if one of them eventually ends up in Earth's atmosphere? Then it could be the Chili Bins event number 2. You see, it was a quiet morning in Chileans. Until it wasn't. There was a flash of light so it outshone the sun, followed by a deafening sonic shot that rattled the skies and shattered reality along with a few thousand windows. It happened on February 15th, 2013. Without warning, a space rock the size of a house burst into Earth's atmosphere at over 11 meters per second. About 14 miles above the ground, it detonated mid-air, unleashing an immense amount of power. Glass rained down in homes, schools, offices. Over 1,600 people were injured, most of them by flying shards, and it wasn't even a big asteroid. Just a cosmic pebble compared to the ones lurking out there. Luckily, according to Jedi, modern sky surveys are surprisingly good at spotting stuff that small, even from millions of miles away. But there's a catch. These things move so fast they don't show up as dots in images like normal space objects. They leave streaks, and computers intensely dislike streaks. Those motion trails are harder for algorithms to recognize. So these tiny moons often just slip by unnoticed. Luckily, it's not all doom and gloom. The researchers point out that we did manage to spot one, 2020 CD3, even though it was only visible on 2 out of 1,000 possible nights. That's like finding a needle in a haystack while the haystack is spinning. But once we know where a mini-moon is, it's way easier to track it. And here's where things get exciting. Ooh, those tiny visitors might actually be useful. Since they come so close to Earth, they'd be way cheaper to reach than flying all the way to the asteroid belt. So, space companies might one day try to snag one and mine it for minerals and stuff. Scientifically, many moons are also kind of a big deal. They could help us understand how the solar system was built and how it's still changing. Studying how chunks of the moon got blasted off and turned into orbiting debris might even help us figure out what kind of damage an asteroid could do to Earth. So yeah, these little guys may be fast, hard to find, and kind of flaky, but they've got loads of secrets to spill. By the way, Earth might have had 2 real moons once, and those were not many moons. One of them was our familiar one, and the other one was a smaller buddy moon tagging along. Sadly, things didn't end well for the little guy. Scientists have been wondering for years why one side of the moon, the one we always see, is smooth and flat, while the far side, the one that never shows its face, is all bumpy, crusty, and way thicker. Looks like the moon has a good side for selfies and a rough don't-take-my-picture side. So, according to a new computer model, that lopsidedness might be the result of a slow-motion cosmic fender bender. The theory goes like this. Millions of years ago, our moon had a smaller moon sibling cruising along with it in space. Everything was chill-like for 80 million years. Both moons had the same vibes, similar makeup, same color, just one was 3 times bigger than the other. Then, gravity happened. As the moons drifted further from the Earth, the sun's gravitational pull stepped in, messed with the smaller moon's path, and eventually sent it crashing into the far side of the bigger moon. This was in a huge action movie explosion. The speed was more like a slow but firm crash. Not fast enough to melt rock, but just strong enough to squish one moon into the other like cosmic Play-Doh. The smaller one didn't leave a big crater. It basically smeared itself across the far side, leaving behind that mountain-heavy terrain we see today. After the crash, space got really messy. Trillions of tons of moon debris got thrown into orbit. And for a few days, the whole system was just dust, rocks, and chaos. And Earth, it got pelted with moon chunks for up to 1 million years afterwards. Some of those space rocks were the size of cities. So, in the end, our natural satellite may be a mix of 2 moons mashed together. One face smooth, one face forever marked by its lost twin. It's kind of tragic, kind of epic, and explains why the moon looks like it lost a fight on one side. So, you kind of forgot to duck, huh? That's it for today. So, hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the Dark Core. Thanks for watching Dark Core.